My son says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that's how I feel this morning. What I'm going to talk about is the never-ending saga of finding trash in your water, okay? Now, if you're not familiar, pretty much, I don't want to say everywhere when you leave the West, but you can't drink the tap water, okay? Currently, I'm here in the Philippines. You cannot drink the tap water. But it's not just this place. Many places around the globe, it's just not safe to drink. You have to buy filtered water, okay? So our filtered water, and I'm not going to pick on any particular company because this is just over and over and over again. So there's no need to name the company. But you get these jugs right here and trade them out. 20, 25 pesos, say 50 cents, somewhere in there. And this is your drinking water. That's your drinking water. Sometimes the ladies will cook with the tap water if it's going to be boiling for a long time, what have you. But this is what you do. And so I've done this video so many times before. I sound like a broken record to myself because how many times throughout the years have I found trash, mold, algae, things other than water floating in my damn water, and to the point that I got pissed off, I got upset, and I said, never again am I going to use this filtered water. And then, you know, you go to the store and buy the bottled water. It's more expensive, but obviously it's a much higher quality product. You don't got stuff floating in it, and you don't get sick off your damn water supply. I've done it many times before. And what happened, even in Barrio Barreto, I got pissed off, same thing. Because what happens, it's hard to see inside here, right? But instead of putting this in, you know, just flipping it upside down and putting it in like the water cooler thing, right now we've got this little handy receptacle. So when she told me to fill this thing up this morning, I did, and there is nothing but green little slivers, particles. I mean, it's not just one or two. It's just permeated with these green particles. And what pisses me off even worse is before I fill this thing up last. So the old lady says, hey, pour some in this crock pot. She had the chicken, all the vegetables, cabbage, spices, everything in there ready to go. She just needed some water. So I pour some water in there, being a good old single dad that I am. And then I pour it in here, and I look down and I'm like, oh, holy crap. I mean, it's just ruined. So she had to take the chicken out. She's been in there washing the chicken down, washing the vegetables down, starting over. I started to tell her just throw it out, but she ain't gonna do that. But she had to wash everything, all the work that she had done, get it back in the crock pot, and still need some water. So I said, you know what? Once again, and this time, I have to stick to my guns and just say no more of this local filtered water stuff, because unless I'm looking and paying attention, we're drinking that shit. It's just not acceptable. Just not acceptable. And where it comes from, you know, my buddy in Angeles City started a water plant, American guy. Shout out to you, Joe, man. Hope you're doing well. And so when he got the water plant going, now obviously he's somebody I trust, he explained the situation. He said, dude, I have to raise prices. He said, you see all these filters and all this stuff, you know, it costs money to maintain this stuff, to replace them on a proper schedule. And he went around and tested all these other little local water places, and their water was not where it's supposed to be. Why? Because they're not maintaining the equipment. They're not changing the filters or flushing the filters or whatever the hell they're supposed to do. They're not doing it because everybody charges 20 or 25 pesos. There's barely a profit margin at that, and they got to cut corners. He raised his prices. Once he evaluated shit, he said, man, I'm gonna have to raise prices again. And at the time I told him, I said, man, I don't care what you raise the price to. I just want clean drinking water for me and my children. Okay, I said, whatever you raise it to, it's still cheaper than buying it at the store. Just raise it to where you can make a profit and you keep the water clean. That's all I'm concerned with. And so personal experience of him showing me how a water plant works and how much it costs and how much the electricity costs and how much the water bill. When you sell these things for 20 or 25 pesos, I have no idea, and he had no idea either, how they're making any profit, and it boils down to cutting corners. That's my opinion. And if you don't believe me, you just take a look in there at the little green floaties that are floating around in my damn water. All right, so there you go. I can't put the camera down in here any closer, but if you can see that, well, that's mild. Because she already poured everything out. And I was like, hey, wait a minute, let me get something for the camera. But it was even worse. See all those little green floaties just all over. That's what you're dealing with right there. So if you don't pay attention, let me spin it around. There's another angle on the dangle. If you're not paying attention, that's what you're drinking. Those little green things. You could say, oh, you sure it's not from that jug? Nope, it's from right in here, okay? You can look down there and see the shit. You can pour it into another glass, and it is what it is. It's just little green floaties of algae, of plastic. It almost looks like, I'm gonna tell you what it looks like. I have an old garden hose that over time, it was like 10-year-old water hose. And every time there's a dude taking a piss, you know that distinct sound of somebody taking a leak? It's just on my left ear. I look over, yep, dude taking a leak. Anyhow, I had this water hose and about 10 years old, and I realized when I hooked it up to my pressure washer, that little filter was getting clogged. And what it was, a little lining of that old water hose was just slowly degrading, and little pieces, it looks just like that. Little pieces of green, plastic, rubber looking substance. It was clogging up my pressure washer. So obviously it's a simple solution, throw that damn old ass hose out. Because everywhere you point that thing, it's just spraying those little pieces of plastic and rubber, whatever they are. That's what it looks like that's in here. Anyhow, I'm done with the filtered water. I've said that so many times. Let my guard down, and every time you get burned. Think about it, 20 pesos, 25 pesos, 50 cents. How the hell can you filter a bottle of water like this, deliver it? It's heavy. You can't put too many of them on a truck. Pay fuel, pay maintenance. How do they make any money? Okay, the way the bigger water companies work, if you buy the water at 7-Eleven or Prince or what have you, the bigger companies, they're doing volume. They're doing volume at scale. That's how they make a profit margin. So all these little local water places, I don't know how they make any money other than cutting corners and sending out shit like that. So again, I'm not picking on anybody in particular. I've had this happen everywhere I've lived in the Philippines, and that's why I'm going to do this video and reiterate it. If you're using this filtered water, don't just take this thing, because you can't see through that blue. Don't just take this thing and flip it up and start drinking. You're probably not paying attention. Look in there. Number one, take a look in there. If there's plastic, green, floaty things in there, you might not want to drink it. Or B, take a nice, more bright, clear receptacle or a big glass pitcher or something and pour that first round in there and see what you're drinking. And again, it's happened everywhere. Everywhere from living in Angeles City to Barreto to Manila, everywhere. It's obviously better than the tap water, I reckon. But it's just something I'm tired of dealing with. I'll spend the extra money, get the bottled water, you know, get the biggest jugs I can find, try to cut the price down. I don't give a damn. I don't care what the cost is. It's just one of them things. You just don't worry about, you don't want to worry about your damn drinking water. And I've gotten burned every damn time I go back to this local filtered crap. There you go. That's my rant this morning. That's my rant. But it also ties into, you know, the stories that the old timers told me about beer bottles here. The, you know, SMB, San Miguel beer back in the day, the stories I've heard in the Navy from Navy guys were, and I still do this now after I've heard so many stories from back in the day. You know, the bottles here are recycle, right? They're recycle. First thing I do, I don't drink anymore, but if I did, I'll hold that damn thing up. I'll hold it up to the light and I'm looking to see what's in it. Is there any sediment? Is there any trash or anything like that? Baby, I appreciate you making me a sandwich, but do you see that I'm making an award-winning travel video? Could you just put the sandwich on the table and wait till I get done filming the show? We've only been doing this for 8 years, 9, 10, however long you've been with me. I've been doing it much longer than since this old girl's been around. Just sitting there holding the plate with a sandwich. Anyhow, thanks for making my sandwich. But the old timer said back in the old Navy days, they would hold that bottle up to see what was in it, and there'd be sediment, there'd be trash, whatever, and they'd have a pool going that if anybody could get a cigarette butt, they won the pool. I said, are you kidding me? They said, no, man. They said, think about it. You know, back in the day, people sit around smoking, they just put their cigarette butts in the bottle, they turned it in, and the rewashing system wasn't effective. And sometimes cigarette butts would still be in there when they filled it up with beer and capped it. So if you pulled a beer and looked up and had a cigarette butt in there, you won the pool. Now look, I'm a creative guy, but I don't think with any amount of bottles of rum, I could make that shit up. You just, something you can't make up. And I heard it from, you know, multiple sources. Some of y'all out there who were stationed here back in the day. So to this day, when I get a beer here, if I were to get a beer, first thing I do is hold it up to the light and make sure I'm not looking at a cigarette butt or any trash or sediment or stuff like that. And you know, when you uncap it, first thing you got to do is get the rust off the rim. You know, depending on how long it's been sitting at the Sorry store, you got to get the rust off of there, or that's going into your body. So there you go. Baby, come over here. Can you just make a cameo appearance? She's wearing this pink outfit I bought at Walmart. Come on over here and just tell us what you had to do to your chicken. Come on over here. Come on over here. Just 1 minute. You're busy? No. Come over here. You look beautiful though. Come on over here. Let me see this old girl. Come on. Look, folks, this old girl. She's not real happy because she spent all morning getting that chicken ready, chopping up them vegetables, right? Had the spices, had the Knorr flavor cubes, everything in there. All she needed was some water. And she said, hey, can you put some water in a jar? I said, I sure can. And she said, pour some water in here. I poured that water over that chicken. She's finally, okay, that's enough, that's enough. And I looked down in our thing and I'm like, gosh. It wasn't nothing but just little green flakes of almost like big parsley. What do you think those are, baby? What do you think them things are?
Mold, isn't it?
Think it's just mold?
Yeah.
So she had to pour out the chicken. Did you rewash the chicken?
Oh!
Did you pat it, spank it, and rub it down?
Like
Easy, baby, easy. I'm trying to keep this a family-friendly show. All right, so anyhow, no more of the local filtered water anywhere we live in this country,
Yun
okay?
na, mag-map ko.
All right? I mean, I guess you could take a t-shirt, talk about solutions, so you don't lose that 25 pesos. Could take like a white t-shirt, you know, and pour it through there. That'd filter out those little green things. But if there's green things, you can see what's there at the microscopic level. How much is your health worth? How much is your life worth? It's worth me going and buying some proper damn water. There you go. That's my talk for today.
Sige na, stop
And
talking
again,
later because Forrest just want drink water.
she said, stop talking because Forrest G wants to drink some water. In other words, she wants me to go to Prince and get some water. Just one more caveat. I'm not picking on anybody, any area. Don't say, oh, it's because of the area you live in. Nope, no coaches. Every place I've lived in, I have bought filtered water until I got pissed off about the floaties and then gave up and bought the expensive water at the store. Moved somewhere new, let my guard down, the same shit. So it ain't got nothing to do with where I'm at, company I'm using. It's just par for the course here. Why? Because it's like my buddy said, running a water plant is expensive. It's a very slim profit margin on what people are prepared to pay. You know, and they just don't take care of the filters like they're supposed to. That's my theory. You know, based on some real life experience with a dude who ran a proper water plant to the point that he figured there's no money in this. There's no profit in this because if you do it right, nobody's going to pay 100 pesos a jar when they can pay 20 or 25 from the other places. But that's what it takes to produce decent drinking water. There you go. Beautiful day here. Beautiful day. Gives me a reason to go to Prince, do a little shopping, go to my Walmart, my version of Walmart, look around for a little bit, and look at the beautiful ladies. My goodness, all the ladies there, they're just beautiful. All the sales ladies. Anyhow, hope y'all are doing well wherever you're at. See y'all on the next one. Peace out, my friends.